24 hours. Which side are you on? This is the Daily Dozen, presented by Champions Round.
Preseason football is here. The NFL, the Hall of Fame game is very exciting, but it's not as exciting as preseason games. Totally pumped to also be popping Dan's cherry, his Daily Dozen cherry, to have as my co-host here while Jason is out of town. We are doing an Everyday's Draft Day takeover to go over the Daily Dozen slate and our picks. How are you doing, Eagle Dan FF?
I am doing fantastic. It is officially, football is back. We have the Giants playing tonight, the Eagles playing tomorrow. It's going to be a good couple of days. Can't wait.
Yes, it's going to be fantastic.
I'm excited. Super
excited. Very excited. I actually think we'll get two at least interesting games. Fun. We'll get right into it. Before we do, guys, make sure you scan to play with us. If not, you can just go into the App Store, download Champions Round. You can play for free, put in $12 and try to win $1,200 because we had someone do it last night. Yeah. So let's get into it. Let's talk. Exactly. That's why I'm so excited. People are used to me being on the MLB show, and I'm just like, here are the numbers. And I'm so quiet because I don't like talking about it. Okay, let's get into it. With the first one, we have the New York Giants versus New England. Total points, 33.5. This number is actually moved in the market, I believe, to 34.5. Wouldn't shock me if it goes up to 35 by the time we get to the game, but we have it at 33.5. What are you thinking here?
Well, for me, I think I learned my lesson from the Hall of Fame game. I'm going to go under on this. I think, what generally happens is that offenses are pretty good in the first half, and then the second half, no one seems to want to find the end zone or score a field goal whatsoever, especially in the fourth quarter. So even if I'll take the under now, especially if it goes up to 35.5, I'll take the under there as well, obviously.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm going to stick with the under for this game as well. And we will go, but I feel differently for this next one. So we have New York Giants versus New England. Total first half points is 16.5. I actually am going to take the over here. I'm tempted not to because I don't want to act like I am being a homer. But I think, you have New England. You have Zabby. Who's their other? Hoyer is their other quarterback. Yeah. They're having serious O-line problems. I think that, Bill doesn't care as much, not playing in really any of the starters. And you have Matt Patricia calling the plays. And Joe, it's ugly. I think the New York Giants, Dable tries to come out hot. He has said he is starting everyone. So I think the opportunity for them to get some points, ideally, if they are in the right direction, is in this first half. So for me, I'm going to take the over. What are you thinking?
I'm also taking the over on this. I think this is mostly going to be the Giants carrying this prop. I think, like you said, Dable wants the starters to start, and then even when the backups come in, you have Tyrod Taylor there as well. So I think that the offense for the Giants will be good and will be good enough to get this over the hump. I think New England will score at least a field goal, hopefully to help out a little bit. But I really think that it's going to be New York doing the heavy lifting. But I'll take the over as well.
And you can be fun with preseason games. Like, it's okay. I think that the New York Giants are going to go into this with the energy that this new change in energy that they have, over there now at MetLife that they haven't had for a couple years. I think also you take Mac Jones out of the equation and you're really looking at the two better quarterbacks on the same team. I think even when Jones comes out, they're still in a really good position to score some points. So we're both on the over there. Watch us probably get burned on that, but we will see. And then Daniel Jones, total passing yards, 65.5. What are you thinking?
I will take the under. I think that he just won't play enough, honestly, to get there. I think they'll take a drive or two. I think that they're probably going to feature Saquon a bit as well. So I just don't think he'll have the time and the plays necessary to get to that passing yard total. So I'll take the under.
Yeah, I'm pretty torn here because who knows if this could take only a couple plays for him to do something crazy. But I'm not going to expect a lot. I think that as much as Dable is saying he's going to play the starters, I think he comes out. I mean, you have to be smart about this. I tweeted this morning, definitely a little bit anxious that that's happening. I know it's the best thing for this team because they're under a new coaching staff and it's a lot of changes there. And they didn't really do this last preseason. It's definitely important for this team as a whole. I'm going to lean the under here as well. I'm not super confident. I guess it just depends how they're approaching this game. I think obviously Daniel Jones, one of his weaknesses has been that passing game. So maybe they try to iron some of that out here. So don't feel great about this one. Won't be my lock of the day, but we'll roll with it.
Yeah.
Okay, we got Zappy, who I honestly forgot. Is it Zappy or Zappy, right?
Zappy, yeah, Bailey Zappy.
So total passing yards 97.5. I low-key forgot that he was on New England until I got the slate this morning. 97.5 though. What are you thinking here?
I actually like the over on this.
Okay.
I think that Bailey Zappy is going to take a majority of this game. I know Brian Hoyer doesn't need the preseason anymore. He's like 100 years old. I think
I think he is 100 years old. I think you're right.
Exactly 100.
Like I think he might be turning 101 this weekend.
Maybe it's possible. I think he's been in New England since like Brady was a rookie.
Brian Hoyer is 100 years old.
Right. So I think he's going to get a majority of the game. He's going to be able to open it up. He's going to be throwing to Tyquan Thornton, who takes one big play, and that's like most of the chunk of yardage there. So I'm pretty comfortable with taking the over on this.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to take the under because I'm just going to follow the narrative that the reports that we are hearing about camp and it being a disaster. Like, I think that disaster is just going to continue. And you look at the depth chart there and, another thing I tweet a lot. So I probably could bring up a tweet for every situation possible.
Thing.
But
right.
yeah, I tweeted a couple days ago when these unofficial depth charts came out, which I know we don't pay a lot of attention to, but like their wide receiver room is terrifying. Like it's not, I'm scared for them. I don't know what the hot plan is. I'm starting to lean into the Patriots having a really rough season. And I wasn't there. I was higher on them. I'm starting to go on the other side. So I'm going to take the under here. People probably at this point are like, okay, Steph, we get it. You're a Giants fan. But guys, it's the only game we're going to win this season. All right. All right. We got Darius Slayton, not one of my favorite guys. Love him off the field. Do not like him on the field. Total receiving yards, 18.5. He has been practicing with the threes. Seems to be not, I wouldn't say struggling because it seems like he's having a good camp, but he's not standing out. So I would love Darius Slayton, first of all, to maybe get picked up by another team. I'm surprised that some teams haven't tried to come after him. But what do you think? What are you thinking here?
I think, with the reports that he's running with the threes and like below are going to take him the majority of the game. I think just from sheer like volume of what he should be getting, I'm going to take the over here. I think 18.5 is not high whatsoever. It's pretty much 2 or 3 catches. He's going to be facing, some people that shouldn't be on NFL rosters. So I think this is a pretty easy, over on this one.
Yeah, I think I'm going to lean over too. I'm going to lean into the fact that he hasn't been having this standout camp because I think Dable's really going to be using this time to figure out like who should be his guys, where they should fit on the depth chart, and who they can rely on. And I think you use preseason games to kind of iron out those wrinkles. So I think Darius Slayton sees enough to get over. 8.5 is pretty low too here.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh boy. Tyquan Thornton, total receiving yards, 21.5. What are you thinking? Because I want to smash the over here.
Yeah, I'm smashing the over here as well. I think, with that the second team offense, he's going to be pretty much the only receiving threat. As you mentioned before, the New England Patriots wide receiver depth chart is a mess. So he's going to be the standout there. He's their prize receiver rookie. They're going to want to get him some work. They're going to force the ball to him because there's really no one else that matters to force the ball to. And I think Zappy and Hoyer will throw to him early and often. So yeah, I'm smashing the over on this.
Yeah. Also, Brian Hoyer is 36 years old, not 100, but pretty close.
I am not the same age as Brian Hoyer.
I was just about to say he is just as freaking old as you. No, so I'm leaning over here. I think you can even look at games like the Hall of Fame game and how we saw Zamir White getting a lot. Like they're going to use their rookies too. This is a good time to figure out, especially kind of funky wide receiver room there who deserves to be getting targets and who's going to be more involved, because at the end of the day, Mac Jones has got to throw the ball to someone. We know that Aguilar doesn't really love to catch balls, so I don't know that he's a reliable source over there. Let's go on to the next game, which is interesting for a couple reasons. So we got Tennessee Titans versus the Baltimore Ravens. Total points 31.5. You will hear all day long that the Baltimore Ravens have won 20 straight preseason. If I hear it one more time, I'm gonna bet my entire 401k on Tennessee, which I'm not gonna do. I have taken Tennessee plus 3.5. What are you thinking for 31.5 points? It's a little bit different situation than the game prior, just because there's going to be less starters involved in this game.
Right. I think I'm going to take the over on this one, just because I think one of the backups for Tennessee is going to be Malik Willis, and he's going to be running around using his legs
like a psycho at the end.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Like, I think he's going to be like a little chicken running everywhere.
Right. He's just going to rack up like rushing yards and score like a bunch of touchdowns at the end, because a lot of people are going to bet the under on this, and then it's going to be ruined for them. So don't do that. So I'm going to lean the over on this, I think. And also Baltimore's backup Tyler Huntley is someone I also really enjoy watching. He's pretty good as well. So I think I'm leaning the over.
I'm trying to pull up this game and see what the number is at. Now it's at 32.5. I probably would feel a little bit comfortable if that was the number that we have taking the, I don't know. I think I'm going to go the over as well, because I think it's just going to get weird at the end of this game. Who knows who's going to be in? Again,
it's going to be backyard football by the end of this.
All over the place. Yeah. And again, people forget one of the reasons why Baltimore has had so much success in the preseason is because of how freaking deep their depth chart. Like it's absurd. They have 2 rosters. Like their second string is almost an entire, like the worst team in the league's team. Like they have guys on their bench that a lot of teams would love to have. So I think that's why they do have success. I think all good things have to come to an end. So that's why if I'm going to do anything, I will bet the plus 3.5 for Tennessee. Let's see what else we got here. I don't even know which one are we up to. We're up to number 9. Tennessee versus Baltimore. Obviously, you know that we're talking about that game. Total first half points, 16.5. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm going to go with what I said before, to get to that over number. I'm going to go over here in the first half as well. I think, even if the starters play for a series, the backups have the ability to put up a lot of points as well. And I expect, at some point to evolve into sandlot football in this game. Yeah. So I'm leaning the over on this one for first.
Yeah, and I'm sure, we might see some of the starters in just. I don't think the camp has said much about what's going on. I know Baltimore has already announced that Lamar is not playing. Mark Andrews isn't playing. I forget the other 2 there. It'll be nice to see Baltimore. I think they'll try, bring back that kind of run heavy offense that we're so used to that we didn't get to see last year due to injuries. It'll be interesting, but I'm with you. I'm going to go with the over. I think they come out of the gate here just all over them. And Baltimore is again, their second string defense is better than a lot of defenses in the league. So we will do, Malik Willis. This is I cannot wait for whatever the Twitter reaction is to Malik Willis in the game. Seriously I feel like I've been looking forward to this moment for years that I didn't even know I was. So we have total passing yards, 85.5. I don't know. I'm laying the under. I think this little, I want to call him a little shit. I think he just runs around the field, and I think he has success doing so. But I don't know how much he's going to be passing the ball.
Yeah. I think, being his first ever NFL live action, I think he's going to default to, doing what he's comfortable with, and that's running the ball. Not saying, he won't take some deep shots, because I'm sure he will. Yeah. But I think,
I'm sure he's going to.
Right. But I just think that he's going to be using his legs more than his arm. The Tennessee offense that he's going to be playing with probably isn't going to be the best receiver, running back, or offensive line wise. So I really think, if this were rushing yards, I'd be smashing the over, but it's not. It's passing. So I'm leaning the under on this one.
Their wide receiver depth chart is pretty gross too. I'm excited to see how much, Treylon Burks we do see. That will be exciting to see him, with the way that everyone's been talking. Again, kind of a similar situation to Darius Slayton in the sense where he's struggling and now practicing with the 2s and 3s, lining up wrong, whatever the reports are that you're seeing. So I think for me, you see someone like Treylon Burks on the field so that you can see how he does when the game is actually going on.
Right.
All right. Second to last, what do we got here? Tyler Huntley, friend of the show. He's not a friend of the show, but we love him on every day is draft day. Total touchdown passes. He just got got to get one here. So obviously we're going to smash the over. It's always a small special when we have something low like this. What are you thinking here?
This is my lock of the day. It's over. It has to be over. I mean, he's going to be throwing he's starting the game, first of all. So he's going to be throwing with, some decent receivers, right? And then even if Mark Andrews doesn't play, Isaiah Likely has been blowing up camp. So he'll probably get the touchdown
I heard that.
Right?
You know who I was listening to? Interesting, because we liked him a lot when we went down to Alabama, then didn't fall as in love with how enamored we were going down there. But I was listening to Mark Andrews talk the other day on an interview I think he was on Good Morning Football, and he was saying how Isaiah Likely, I know they all have to say this kind of, but they don't at the same time, saying how he really is transitioning really well. And he's doing stuff that, vets do that he really was not expecting out of a young guy like that. And he's really excited to see what his potential is. So I'm with you here. Let's take the over for Tyler Huntley. And we have the last one of the day. A guy that I like. I think you like. I forget if you like him. Okay.
I do.
Hassan Haskins, total rushing yards, 26.5. I mean, this feels like a smash over to me. What do you think?
I think so too. I think, he's on the unofficial depth chart. I think he was third, so I'll probably play a majority of the game. Just like Zamir White, you want to get the rookies, running backs in and get them some work. And even though the Baltimore defense is better than usual, I mean, they'll just give him enough carries for him to get over that mark. So I think
I'm with you. And I think that especially, yes, wherever he is on the depth chart, and again, we don't pay that much attention to them, but at some point it might come down to, and knock on wood, we don't wish for injuries, and I'm not wishing for it, but if Derrick Henry goes down, I mean, we're going to see Hassan Haskins, and I think we'll probably see him regardless. I think Tennessee's in a weird spot. We've talked about this on our show before. I think that Hassan, I think they'll prime him to get ready to fill a pretty significant role here. And I think that it starts with this game and what they can do with him.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. Oh my gosh. We went through them all. I wonder, it's so funny because we've complained since the MLB season that we've wanted NFL props, which obviously we're not, that's out of everyone's hands, and it's finally here. So I probably will go 0-12.
Right. 0-12.
Because of that. Is there any other players that you're looking forward to watching tonight? I want to see Wan'Dale Robinson.
That's a good one. I want to see Wan'Dale. I want to see more than Wan'Dale, I want to see how the Giants use their players. I want to see how Dable fits everything together. I want to see how Tylan Wallace does on the Ravens.
Yes,
his hype guy last year that kind of didn't really go as expected for people. Let's see. I want to see Malik Willis. I want to see how he does, like how you said.
Right.
I think that's pretty much
What was the last one? Wasn't it Tyler? I think it used to be Tyler Batty was the original prop that we were going to use. Yeah. I'm excited to see him too, because again, I think that the Ravens did that very purposely because, no matter what, they are, I think, going to be back in that run-heavy offense that we were so used to prior to last year when literally 70% of their roster got injured and they didn't have an option. So I think that they're going to use it. I think tonight is a good time too to see where he's at, how he does, and who else. There was one other. I'm excited to see what, like you said, Giants, of course it's my team, but you want to see something even if it's just the O-line, which is probably going to be what I pay the most attention to. It's what I paid the most attention to last year and probably started crying and shut the game off halfway through. But, I'm excited to see Evan, Kayvon Thibodeau. There's things to
I want to see how Bellinger does too. I want to see how
Oh my gosh. Okay. I am really, really excited about this. All right. What are we working on? What's coming up for you? Because I know you have something really exciting coming out soon.
Yes. So coming out, I think next week will be my 32-team redraft fantasy guide. I'm really excited about it. I put a lot of work into it. So it's going to go team by team and position by position and just tell you, the players that will help you win your fantasy title. So look for that next week.
Love it. And it's finally, redraft season is so here. And pay attention during these games because people love to overreact on Twitter. Use that to your advantage. Trade players that people are losing their mind about. It's a great opportunity to take advantage of your weak league mates. And go download Champions Round, play against us. Drop in the comments on YouTube, on the Twitter stream, whatever it is. Your favorite lock for today. What's your favorite prop from the Daily Dozen that you know is going to hit? And until next time, Dan will be here tomorrow by himself. I'm heading to Canton. So if you're going to the Fantasy Expo, come see me. I'll have stickers and some stuff. So that's it. I want a beer right now because we're talking football, but we can't have a beer right now. Damn it.
Well, we could technically. We
could. You're right. You always can, but oh well.
We're trying to fund by society.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
All right. See you guys.
12 props, 24 hours. Which side are you on?